Welcome to episode 1 of Emulating Sir Alex Ferguson. This is in conjunction with my Emulating Pele series. The first episode should have gone up by the time this is uploaded, so head on over and check that out if you haven't done so already, and see if you have made the playlist of that. But in this series, it's sort of an experimental series. We're going to see how it goes, but it's going to be at the same time as Emulating Pele on the same database, so we can see if the managers selected end up managing some of the players. That would be quite interesting to see. I've selected between about 15 and 20 managers. I can't remember the exact number, but we'll have a look in a minute at everyone that was selected. Thanks for the support and interest on this. There wasn't as much interest on this as I was expecting. I didn't think there would be as much interest because everyone wants to be a player, don't they? And I don't know how this manager thing will work. We'll find out. Because less people applied for this, it does mean you had more chance of getting into it, although there were, of course, less spaces for this. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way of creating a manager shortlist, so we won't be able to look at all of them in one long line like we can with the players, so I'll have to individually go through. Like I said on Emulating Pele episode 1, if you leave a like on this video, then I will upload the database to Steam for episode 2, and I'll put that in the description below for episode 2. So it's time to look at who was chosen to be in the series. First up is Dirk Lucas, a Dutch manager. I've made everyone 30 years old, and I asked you to give me 5 attributes that you want to be strong at. Everyone's got a current ability of 150, which is very high, potential ability of 200. I've done that because I don't want there to be problems with managers not finding clubs. There may be issues because we're young and unknown. That may be an issue. But I do have a solution to that in episode 2 if need be. If it comes to that and we don't find clubs after the first season, I will make an announcement in episode 2. Next we have Bastian Bosch from Germany. Then we have Timothy Borg from Malta. Then we have a San Marino manager, Giuseppe Cassone. Then we have the very witty name, Good Bison. Up next is another English manager, Addicted to FM. Next we have a Danish manager, but the only female manager as well in the game. Let's just see how a female manager does. It'd be interesting to follow. Up next is Sir Jack MacDonald, who is Irish. Then we have the bearded one, who's from Comoros in Africa. Next up is James Smith from Colombia. Then we have Robbie Inkster, Scottish manager. Then we have another Danish manager, Sir Lord Smart. Quite a few Danes signed up for this, so there's always likely to be a couple more. Then we have Hayden Eyre, the only Belgian in the series. Next up is a manager from New Zealand, Timmy Stokes. Then we have a Portuguese manager, Mickey Oliver. Up next is a manager from Australia, Nathan Verner. Then we have a manager from Faroe Islands, Helgi Mitchelson. Maybe he can manage my player. Then we have the Irish manager, Hugh Quinn. Just a few more. We've got Nick East, who's English, and Will Hughes, who is also English, not to be confused with the Derby player. And lastly, Jake Humphries from America. I assume this isn't the actual Jake Humphries that we know in England as a presenter. So that pretty much concludes the first episode of Emulating Sir Alex Ferguson. I hope you're pumped for the series to follow your manager, or if you are not in the series, perhaps in the comment section below select a manager that you want to do well. Perhaps hypothesize over possibilities of certain managers managing other players from Emulating Pele at certain teams if you fancy. But yeah, please leave a like on this first video. Part 2 will be the end of the first season. Like I said, if we haven't managed to find teams, then I will be suggesting something to you guys that we can do. But hopefully we will find teams. Anyway, tune in for episode 2 very shortly. See you soon, guys.